Greetings, everyone. We're discussing the nature of consciousness. Just a review, there are two modalities of consciousness, the creator mode and the victim mode. And furthermore on this, there are two levels of consciousness: high consciousness and low consciousness. Like you have on this board here, this is low consciousness and this is high consciousness. Now, your focus point, where you focus your attention on, is where you are on the oscillation of your consciousness. Now, let's say low is frightened, depressed, and confused. Here, you want to keep your frequency uh, at the top point as best as you can. Now, following on this length here is the days, the sequence of your time, of your reality: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so on. So if you focus your attention on scary thing, you will be frightened. And your consciousness oscillation will be here, still at the lower spectrum. And say you're depressed, and it gets here, and it stays here indefinitely. However, when you're happy, when you're smiling, when you're compassionate, it keeps going up. And this is the etheric aspect of it. So at this high level here is happiness. Yes, it's just about the basic frequency of consciousness and the high mode, the creator mode, it says. So when you're happy, when you're laughing, when you're in a good mood, your vibration is oscillating at a high frequency and you're in a high consciousness. And if you can actually stay happy for at least say 40 days, your body, your biology will reflect that frequency, and you will be in that happy mode indefinitely. So the idea is, if you can be happy for 40 days without anything upsetting you, without anything breaking your vibe, your body is going to adjust to keep you in that frequency. Regardless of whatever happens to you or what's happening around you, you will always be happy. But it just requires you to practice being happy for as long as 40 days. And if you check your reality, it doesn't allow you to that. They keep bombarding you with negative news, and this is the reason, just to keep your vibration on the low frequency. So what happens is that might just be happy, say for 2 days, and something would just, kill your vibe. Then you will drop down to depressed and confused. Why did this person do this to me? Why this? Why that? Why this? Why that? Why this? Why that? Why this? Why that? And when you think about it, you get tired. Then you try to take a break and you get chilled. You could stay chilled for about 2 days. You might get happy in a day for 4 days, and the next thing, someone will just kill your vibe again. And this is why the matrix keeps, keeping your frequency in this stage every day. Now, the discipline here about spiritual awareness, higher awareness, is that you don't allow the things in your reality phase you, regardless of what's happening. You just keep a high vibration, because when you stay on a higher frequency for as long as 40 days, your body is going to adjust to keep you in that frequency indefinitely. So that's the exercise that we can practice with one another, by encouraging, by supporting, by showing love to one another, by keeping each other happy in that sense. But the way the matrix is constructed, humans are always against humans, and the things they put in your foods sources and your processed food keeps human on a lower dense frequency, because those, when you're in a low frequency and below here, you just don't want to know what that's like. When you're below the low frequency, you don't want that. This is where you have cannibalism. You have very, 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 very distorted ideas, like things that you wouldn't even believe exist. And this is why they put all these dead fishes in people's food, fetuses in people's food, and in some of your chips and drinks. You don't know what is inside. They take it to a lab and mix it with different stuff and give it a new name. But if you come down to the atomic particles of these substances, you realize that they are just tiny aborted fetuses, dead skin, dead humans, grinded up and mixed with carbon and mixed with different bonds with chemicals, and just so it gets to a point where you taste it and you enjoy it and you become addicted to this stuff, and it then reprograms your DNA and switches your the frequency, the oscillation of your consciousness to cannibalism mode, which then avoids you from ever getting to a high frequency. No matter where you are, you probably will be happy and you go all the way down. You probably will be chilled and you go all the way down. You can be sad for a moment or depressed for a moment and you go all the way down. And this is what causes people to get depressed, and the next thing suddenly they just make up their mind to kill themselves. These are negative. Um, they're, it's a bit complex, but there are multiple layers to the mechanisms that keep humans in a low vibration. Now, the only activity or the only exercise is to, regardless of what, to keep moving forward and stay happy, laugh, and always, try and keep a high vibration for as long as you can. And if you can hold that up for 40 days, your life will never be the same. We love y'all. Namaste.